Going, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Happy Tuesday. Happy winning day. We renamed Tuesday to winning day. That's what we just did because we can, and nobody said we can't. So permissionless renaming of the days of the week. That's why we're here on the PulseChain.com to win and do cool stuff like that. Excited. Oh, super pumped for this one. Got some awesome peeps on board. Talk about some fun stuff. Get your questions in the chat. We're going to go for a little while and see how it goes. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. And that's all the intro I got for you today. Welcome back to the show, Briz, Twinkie, and Fast Abdul. How's it going, everyone?
Howdy.
Hey, guys.
Twinkie gets to share the screen with the chat, unless that is untenable. But I actually kind of blends in pretty well. It's kind of like, do you mind if the people say stuff beside your face as long as it's good stuff?
Yeah, it's super good.
Nobody write any comments that are pointing emojis that way. Yeah, don't do that.
I'm sure they will, but it is what it is, man. It's good, part and parcel of the gig.
Luck of the draw.
It looks good. It reminds me. Sometimes I watch this streamer, Asmon Gold, and he has a little chat box in the corner of his videos.
So let's say pre-stream, Briz and I were talking a little bit about backgrounds and the like, because I was kind of curious about Abdul's rotating backgrounds. We were chatting a little bit about that. I was saying, like, I looked at what Twitch streamers do, and because they figured it out a long time ago, and I don't need to reinvent the wheel, just do what they do.
Yeah, StreamYard's been making some interesting upgrades recently that sometimes throw us off a game, and sometimes I enjoy the chat box. I like the chat box up there pretty good. Everything else is just, please stop giving me more buttons. Make it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, like the KISS style.
I think that's also the biggest problem with X Spaces, is that there's no chat box. So, like, you can only hear whoever's talking at that moment, and maybe they're just like yapping along, and I just want to say something and speak with the rest of the chat while this person's yapping. And so I wish they would have like a dedicated chat box on those spaces.
It's like you could start talking, you could like diverge conversations. You'd be like, all right, this person's talking about, I want to talk about other things. Yeah, that's actually interesting. X side conversations. I like that. I can see that.
That's why I like these YouTube things, these live streams so much on YouTube, because you got that chat box right there.
Dude, it is, some people talk, I don't do spaces. I mean, you'll rarely ever see me on a space. And people ask, they'll talk about spaces and doing them. And again, everyone's got their own thing they like to do. But for me, I like to create content. And unless somebody's screen recording that space, we're probably never going to see it again, or if they're recording the space at all. So I think it's really good to engage on X through those conversations. But my thing, again, personally, my thing is like creating content, creating like pieces that can reference and clip and all that stuff. That's why I don't gravitate towards spaces. But I appreciate that they're there, and I'm glad that people like them, because I think there are probably a lot of good conversations to have. And like, even after the debate stuff, I think it's like, if anyone, I don't know if this will ever happen or happen again. I'm not sure if it even happened because I don't do spaces, but after debates, after big topics, after big conversations, having a place for people to go to have conversation about those on spaces, that sounds like a pretty cool deal too. But yeah, I love that people like them. It's not my thing, but I love that like we have that type of thing to interact with people.
I know Twitter has been talking about or X, whatever we want to call it. It's always going to be Twitter to me, but relaunching their whole chat integration. So I wonder if that's in the wings, Briz. Like, if potentially we're going to get some sort of UI to be able to enable those different text chats and the like.
Nice.
It's in beta. I think I don't have access to it. I think it's randomly appearing for different Twitter users, but we'll keep our eyes peeled for that one.
Cool.
Gentlemen, what is, there's a ton of exciting things happening in the ecosystem. I mean, Richard's been tweeting some meaningful things, vague, meaningful things. I did a whole stream going through each one of those two. We'll probably hit on some of that today as well. And also BlackRock doing stuff. People are calling ETH go up. What do you guys want to start? What's interesting? We'll find our way around.
What's up with the BlackRock thing? I haven't caught up on that news.
So I looked into it a little bit, and it looks like BlackRock sold about 1,200 Bitcoins, and they bought 27,000 Ethereum coins.
27,000.
Yeah, 27,241.
So not like Richard Hart levels, but still impressive.
little baby buys, little tiny buys, little buys for ants, but every little bit helps, I guess.
Yeah, I'll take
Yes,
it.
around 560 odd mil from what I had read earlier today.
Okay. Only
So-
500 million, but still.
This one said the firm offloaded around 1,249 Bitcoin, a move that underscores its active engagement with digital assets. In a separate transaction approximately 22 hours prior, BlackRock bolstered its portfolio by acquiring a substantial 27,241 Ethereum, signaling a calculated pivot in its crypto investment strategy.
Now, has BlackRock been right in the past in their strategy?
Well, and is this a pivot? Is this like, I guess two ways, like, is this actually a signal? Is this something like how, of course, the signal, like everyone wants this to happen. Is that one of those, everyone wants it to happen? It's like a one-time, hey, we're going to buy some stuff. Or is it literally like, is this the start of a run up? What do you guys think?
Here's how my brain works is that there's 21 million Bitcoin and there's about like 106 million Ethereum. And it's like what, 5 times more Ethereum than Bitcoin. I really honestly believe that Bitcoin is probably going to get to like $1 million each. And why can't Ethereum get to current prices of Bitcoin? And so in my mind, I'm thinking like, what do I want? Do I want 1,249 assets? Or do I want 27,000 assets that could get to the same price as these 1,200 ones? And so, like I will say this, even though it was a bad thing to do at the time, was that I sacrificed my Bitcoins for like PulseChain and PulseX, right? Kind of a bad move so far. But in my opinion, I was thinking, how far could Bitcoin grow, right? And I was thinking like maybe like a 5, maybe at super best a 10x, and I was thinking PulseChain is going to be doing hundreds or maybe thousands of X's, and I still think that's in the bag, and so that's why I traded those, a few of those coins for a lot of these PulseChain assets, and I'm wondering if that's what BlackRock is kind of thinking as well. The future growth potential of ETH has to be just way bigger than Bitcoin.
At this time, that seems likely to me. I think it's the most important thing is that BlackRock did this. Like, is it a signal? But like, it's less than 1% of their Bitcoin bag that they sold, right? So if that number increases to 10%, that's definitely a signal. I'm just curious to see what they do next. But they have like 70 billion in Bitcoin, right?
A lot. Yeah. And along those lines, Briss, I'd say you're not losing, you're just temporarily not winning. That's kind of my attitude on where we're at, with different aspects of this. And for me, I take a slightly different approach. I figure, why not some exposure to both or potentially multiple assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, PulseChain, and since for me, it's question of risk reward and what I think the different probabilities are. Absolutely. It's just taking a quick step back, regardless of which token we're looking at, more money is coming into this system. I think you can't argue against that. Be it PulseChain, Ethereum, Bitcoin, more money is unquestionably going to be flowing into crypto. I think current U.S. administration has highlighted that. I'm also watching things like companies, corporate treasuries. We're talking about BlackRock, but the list kind of goes on and on. Even GameStop is throwing their hat into the corporate treasury ring with outfitting their treasuries with crypto. Now, as that continues forward, we've seen different countries and smaller entities, mom and pop shops, also look to safeguard aspects of their livelihood by holding digital assets, crypto assets. So yeah, numbers going up. Not a question of if, just a question of when.
Well, to Briz's point too about the, or talking in the realm of, hey, I should not have just bought Bitcoin and Ethereum this whole time. Well, let's just say Bitcoin because Ethereum's down from its all-time high. Instead of buying more PulseChain or buying more Hex or whatever it is, I don't know. I don't really think about it very often, but when I do, the first instinct I have is I don't mind waiting. I don't care how long it takes. I believe that price is going to go up over time. So, you can talk about the ETH trade, the ETH trade that the SAC wallet made, and that's down from 3,800 to whatever it is now, 2,500 or so. To me, that just doesn't matter because I know there's more time for it to go higher. So whether it's the ETH trade, whether it's my own, my investments or otherwise, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that important of a question. It's one of those. I think it's just where I'm just so much integrated in this ecosystem where I want to be aligned. I want to have the coins here. I want to promote the stuff here. And if I have to wait for it to go up, I'll wait. But it's not like, I don't know. It's like this different kind of spectrum of risk reward, because a lot of times you're looking at, okay, why would I buy Pulse or why wouldn't I just buy ETH instead of Hex, for example, if I think that, because you think Hex is going to outperform, why wouldn't you buy, Pulse over Bitcoin? Which one would you buy? You think which one's going to outperform? I think people get stuck in this cycle of like, oh, well, it's not performing that well right now. Kind of like Twinkie says, it's down right now. You're just currently not winning on the price side, but like, don't you believe you will over time? Like, is it just a problem of waiting? I think I don't know. It just seems so foreign to me to be like, well, of course, I think the price is going to go up. That's why I'm holding these coins. That's why I think it's going to go up much more than the other ones. That's why I'm holding these coins.
Yeah. We've been waiting for, a long time. 4 years is quite a long time. Well, actually, when did it launch? 22 or
2 years
23
ago. Hex
It's
launched
only been
5
like
years ago.
2 years. Well, we sacrificed like 4 years ago, and
Sacrifice around 4 years ago. Yeah, coming up on 4 years.
So we've been waiting a long time, and a lot of us go like, well, when do you actually give up, right? And there would be a certain point where you'd have to be like, all right, nothing is ever coming. But for me, that saving grace that's just giving me hope, and until that's gone, I will always have hope. Is that sack bag? It's just a giant bag of money sitting there that could at any time flow in. It's not guaranteed that it will, but that's what's keeping my hope up.
Well, I mean, there's two different pieces I think it'd be good to dig into. One is, what is keeping everyone here? For me, I've like the sack bag you say is a big motivator for you. For me, I've said before, like if I look around and like nobody else is here and there's no community and everyone's already gave up, well, then what am I doing? I don't want to be here by myself, right? Like there's no community if there's only one person. So like that's my thing. Is like as long as the community is here, that's a lot of my motivation. So it could be multiple. It could be that the sack bag is one, but also like just on that real quick too, I think it's interesting. Do you think that do you think it was purposeful, the planning of, RH having the sack bag out there dangling, and you think that was to be like, oh, this will give people, people who are latching, who think that's something that they want to happen, whether it happens or not, all that stuff. Do you think that was part of the pitch of like, okay, this is going to take a while, but at least people are going to see there's a ton of money that could go from Ethereum into PulseChain. That's going to get people be like, okay, I'm going to wait around at least to see what happens with that. You think that was planned almost?
For sure it was. Like, he wants it to be public. He interacted with the ETH Foundation guy, like, hey, you're missing a big wallet there, guys, which they then corrected and put them on. And it's like the second largest wallet on that list after the Ethereum Foundation. Like, he has more than 6 times as much Ethereum than what BlackRock just bought, right? So I think that is public information, and people are supposed to look at it. What he does next with that Ethereum is something that people are supposed to notice.
Yeah, it just feels like everyone's got something they're hanging on to on here, but I feel like that's a big piece of it.
When PulseChain first launched, I had my own ideas of what the sacrifice wallet was for. I always assumed like, yeah, people are going to start selling, and then if the price starts going down, the sack address can buy up those sells and prevent a death spiral, right? And I never even thought that it would like leverage trade another coin like Ethereum, and then it did. I was like, oh my gosh, you know what? why didn't I think about this sooner? And why didn't it think about this sooner at like 1800 Ethereum? I don't know if that was actually ever the plan, um, but it is what it is. So I don't know what the exact plans are or what they're supposed to be. So everything's just kind of like happening in real time.
Yeah, I agree with all members of the panel thus far. Definitely super public on this one. Give a very positive what if. I think history has shown thus far, be it through RH's guidance or the OA or the mysteries of the chain, we have some benevolent benefactors out there. If you look at the strategic ETH reserve here, again, we're looking at the PulseChain SAC wallet, and you can see it's second only to the Ethereum Foundation. No change in 30 days. It's been flat. It's been parked there and hasn't really been moving in the last 30 days. So at this point in time, with everything heating up, I think, let's say those of us who have been committed to the chain and to Richard projects, hey, we've been here. We're not going anywhere. For other folks who are sitting on the sidelines, I think soon, we'll see some of those folks having a certain level of regret for not having got in sooner. But as far how the rest of it unfolds between here and there, your guess is as good as mine. I've done some back of the envelope type math on this, and how would I do it? I would keep, if I were going to deploy funds, I would want to keep personally at least half in reserve, just to buttress token prices or keep things afloat if needed. So if we're going to see any sort of deployment, I do suspect it'll be very strategic, very selective over time, some combination. Well, we've already seen liquidity come out of PulseX. So pull it out, drive the price up, re-inject to stabilize, rinse, repeat. And as Ethereum grows, so too does the overall capital firepower that can be deployed back to chain and back to support token prices.
Just hitting on to like the reason I feel like that's a really fun piece to talk about too. Again, whatever happens with the SAC pieces, whatever happens with Richard comes back or doesn't, or what the community does, the marketing efforts, all that stuff too. The real DeFi, again, a lot of people are like, I don't want to be waiting around for someone to put my bags. I want it to work because it has product market fit and has utility and people use it, and the community won't let it die type of thing. And we're doing the work type of deal too. But yeah, Twinkie, it sounds like you've heard from me and Briz too. Fast Twinkie, what is it that keeps you here? And is there what would have to happen for you just be like, no, that's it. I've been waiting to. I don't have anything else to hang on to. Whoever wants to take it.
Honestly, the chain would need to completely evaporate. Like, I've built stuff on the chain. I'm building more things on the chain. All of several more projects out this cycle, right? So I have to be a good founder and participate, even if it runs into the ground, right? So I'm here for years, no matter what. Until it's literally gone, it won't turn on anymore. There's zero validators. At which point, I may be motivated to become a validator, so I could keep it going.
The dystopian future. There's this fastest sitting there, and he's watching the block explore, and the last transaction ticks over, and he's like, there's no more transactions. There's no more. And he spins up validators, and then the PulseChain just chugs on. We're back, baby. We're back.
And I love this chain. I've been making a ton of freaking money in these last 2 years. I don't want to say any numbers, but it's in hundreds of thousands. Let's just put it that much over the last 2 years. Just farming and stuff, getting ink. And then I got my validators going, collecting more PLS, and I'm in the other, protocols that are collecting fees. And even though the prices are down, and I feel it too. I get it. It sucks, but if you actually put your money to work, you can actually make good money in this down market. And dude, I cannot wait until the markets just explode, because all that money that I farmed for the last 2 years, it's gonna be great. I'm super excited. So it just kind of sucks that people haven't been putting their money to work, and making money here.
Most of the sentiment seems to be, price go down, whether you made money. Maybe they did put it to work. They put it in protocols that failed or rugged or they're less sure about than some of the other products and stuff too. Or maybe they're just like, you know what, it's just been too long. I got do stuff to do. But anyways, Twinkie, what's
the community would have to go away. Chain would have to die, effectively like complete ghost town on that side of things, which I just don't see happening. We're not throwing these different events in Vegas, having a very active social media community, be it YouTube, Twitter, and because people aren't doing anything. So with respect to that, as long as the community's here, it's still okay. Multiple things. Community, right? I think unquestionably there's an overwhelming argument that community is number one. Number two is, to me, and I was talking about this with some folks at the Vegas stop, was, okay, at some point in time, what is the marketing or salesmanship or gamesmanship that you're going to use to continue to onboard people onto the chain? And it's less about what I think of the chain versus what does the recipient ultimately perceive to be the value of the chain. And so, sure, I like community. I like making money. I like different financial opportunities, and these can all be arrows in the quiver. But maybe it's part of the pitch is, hey, it's a freedom chain. It's a decentralized chain. It's a censorship resistant chain. So you have all these different arguments and elements you can deliver to a recipient to help onboard them onto the chain. As long as those different things continue to hold true, then I will continue to be over here.
Hopefully the privacy chain, hopefully the DeFi, hopefully the chain of mad gains. I like that one. That one sounds pretty good. We haven't had that for a while. That'd be nice. Like that.
Give it a minute.
Briz, did you change from the background? By the way, did you did you modify the Pulse conference background and do the Briz thing?
No,
cool, actually.
No.
I was going to compliment it. I wasn't going to copyright it. I was going to be like, no, that looks pretty cool, actually.
I think that's actually kind of cool. I think more people should probably put their profile pictures like on the back, and then that way when people go look for them on X, maybe they can find them. But I want to mention something. I ended a stake of over 4 years not too long ago, and on PulseChain it was anywhere between 47 to 62 times cheaper, depending on the max amount of gas used. And the differences were $28.68 versus 46 cents. That's pretty awesome.
I think you saved some money. It's pretty good.
We're keeping more fees inside the Pulse chain. We're not giving them to the Ethereum validators who are probably spending that Ethereum not on Hex, not on Pulse chain. But here on Pulse chain, we're keeping it within the family, right?
Like it. Like indeed. I mean, there's this cheaper, faster network. You got the I'm not going to spoil. I'm writing a blog post. First blog post in over a year. RHMax.com/blog, by the way. Haven't written one for a long time. I'm working on one that says why PulseChain will win. So I'm not going to spoil it, but that's one of the points is one of the talking points is it's just superior in all these different ways. Founder, money number will go up, hopefully all that stuff too. But yeah, that's a good point. On this one, gents, actually I'll ask chat since you're popping off. I don't want to taint this. I did this poll earlier, thought about it this morning. I think of things sometimes and I post them. If Richard Hart buys an exchange, which one would it be? I put a few, actually used AI to help me come up with some. I was like, predict which ones Richard Hart might be interested in. And actually, so some of these options came from AI, like doing an analysis and just based on whatever, like some of them, I think it talked about like, this one has better regulatory options or something too, all these different things. So
it's like medium-sized exchanges, right? Like it's not Binance, but it's known exchanges.
I think it probably, I'm not sure what it took in consideration, but it's probably more of like, hey, we imagine Richard, I don't know, he could be a trillionaire, but I don't imagine he has enough money to buy Binance, for example. But KuCoin, BitMEX, all that stuff, probably just drop in the bucket. Probably. Who knows? Type of stuff. So a bunch of different metrics. So chat, tell me. Oh, Paul, You're killing it today, Paul. Appreciate that. Usually I have to do elevator music and just wait for a while. Paul, you saved us all time today. Congrats, you won the internet. Let's click Bybit, see what people think. Bybit is winning. Just started winning a little bit more now. Bybit, number one so far. It's pretty tied, though. A lot of people, yeah, this is actually the closest poll I've probably ever seen. Wow. What do you guys think?
I'm not well enough versed with respect to who resides where and jurisdictions and legalities.
Oh.
So, that would be a question for me. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on this. I think any one of them would be suitable. I know some folks are, okay, you got a comment there about a centralized entity which can be shut down. Okay, at the same time, making it easier to onboard people in general, I'm going to say is probably not a bad thing. Sure, we can get into some fringe, let's say, cases where bad things can happen, like Coinbase, nefarious actors, bribery, people releasing information, employees of the company, those different types of scenarios. I'm not going to sit here and say they don't exist. But if I have to take a normie to try to get them on a PulseChain, and I know Richard's had some posts on some different solutions that are increasingly available on that front. But in times prior, hey, you got to onboard your fiat here to get to here, to bridge this over here, to buy the thing over here. Too many steps. You're going to lose people along the way. Whereas if you believe you got a superior opportunity, superior products, many times it's just getting them feet wet and getting them in the door.
I had a good conversation too with Ope. Every once in a while I get some comments. Actually, I can talk to people on the internet and exchange ideas and all this stuff too. So this one, it made the point of centralized exchange can be shut down, suit general mess, but like basically against the CX, using it as a way to get in the PulseChain and all that. And I wanted to riff on this a little bit too, and almost, again, maybe we'll have a debate on it one day. Centralized exchanges versus not. Do we need them for PulseChain? Who knows, on the RHMax.tv channel. But this one, I responded with basically this, like, agree with there's downsides to CEXs, but plenty of upsides for onboarding marketing features many users who will never touch DeFi want. One way to think about it is DeFi being for individuals, but easier to market and onboard the masses with CEXs. Just different tools. For example, and this is like for me too, is like, I don't want to touch centralized stuff. I don't want to touch exchanges. I don't want to touch, like, literally I do as little as possible to do the touch points when I'm transferring dollars to crypto dollars, all that stuff.
That little could help you with a centralized exchange that had like RH assets on it, right? Like for onboarding and offboarding to PulseChain, a centralized exchange that had PulseChain assets would be huge, right? Even if you were using other routes in the end, it would still be a huge advantage.
Well, I think the point here is that I don't think the point's being made that's not an advantage, because again, there's lots of clear advantages for onboarding, I think too. I think the point is the ethos of DeFi is to not go buy an exchange, to not go support centralized exchanges, all that stuff. And that's kind of point. That's why I said, like, yeah, there's only one DeFi person to every 10,000 DeFi literate people who are probably never going to touch in the first place. And we can make points of how we can use that to get them into DeFi and teach them all these things. But yeah, general thoughts around, yeah, exchanges is a debate. Like how, like, I feel like I could take either position too. But what is something interesting from this y'all can think of?
The only thing I'm thinking about is that if Richard were to buy an exchange, the reason why someone were to sell their exchange is because they're not making any money. The exchange is kind of going downhill. And so, that's the kind of exchange Richard would have to buy, is an exchange kind of going downhill. But so at this point, I don't think he actually even needs an exchange, because we have so many other options, like the 0x Coast guys. I just heard of another one, Liberty Finance, and they're only allowing, I think, $2,500 at a time, but it's like straight in the PulseChain with I think a credit card
from base, right? And it was USD only, which was interesting. Like, or USDC. You could go from base to PulseChain. I don't know about the credit card part. Did you notice that?
I'm not sure. I thought maybe I imagine that part.
There's a couple different ones. I think Liberty Swap, there's Gibbs.finance and stuff too. But I think, what was it? Was there one that you could do base? You could do multiple different ones, maybe multiple L2s?
There's Empire. Well, that's not. It's more of a. Are we talking bridges or are we talking on ramps?
how to get money into crypto, either from banks though. Yeah, like how do we get bank into crypto?
Well, Coast is the most obvious one for PulseChain, right? Because they have a direct bank connection in the US. I can't speak for other countries, but I think they do have some where you can literally put in money into a bank account and it'll flow to them. I think they have the most direct PulseChain connection.
Well, this one's talking about an on-ramp to USDC on PulseChain powered by Coinbase and supported in the US, and then off-ramp to USD direct on the bank account. I haven't tried this, but this is one that I know
Richard actually posted about that, which he doesn't do very often, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one he gave. Yeah, he posted about. So that's why it became even more interesting, because I imagine he does some diligence as well. Base to PulseChain. What about?
Okay, there's more options there. There wasn't more options than Base when I checked like a week ago or something.
Arbitrum, BSC, but how to do the bank? How do I? Is there a connect bank account thing, or how does this work? Like, founder of Liberty Swap, if you'd like to come on sometime and talk about how this works, that'd be awesome.
I think maybe it's just a bridge. I don't think you can buy with a credit card. I think I made that up.
Get your USDC from Base, Coinbase, and then thousands off ramp, and then transfer USDC stuff to your wallet, bridge PulseChain. I thought they had a thing about bank. I thought it said off ramp to USD directly to your bank account. How do I do that?
Yeah, right. There it is.
I don't know. I'm not seeing an option. Maybe there's something else. Docs. I don't know. I'll have to dig into this. If anyone from Liberty Swap is watching, would love to talk about this.
I'm wondering if Richard is from Liberty Swap. Like, this is utter, like I made this up in my head, but like he doesn't post about this stuff very often unless he feels good about it. It's very unusual, and nobody had ever heard about this. Like, nobody I talked to, I get around, until he posted it, right? So like, what's the, how did he know unless he had a more direct connection with what was happening here?
I don't know. I think I just assume maybe my first instinct is that he isn't a part of it, but he just sees things that he says, "Oh, that's super useful. Let me get people to know about it."
Like, is he Googling like PulseChain Bridge all day? Like, how
he doesn't really communicate in person, so I'm not sure if he reads. Does you think he reads daily? I'm not sure, because that would be communication. He's read only. He's not write only, right? So he can't. He only reads. He doesn't communicate.
It's speculated.
How do we understand this?
Yeah, he's probably got some henchmen that do his reading for him. This is kind of my suspicion. So,
let's say real quick too, if there's nothing else, I mean, there's all kinds of like bridges. We keep getting more and more on ramps and bridges, and like internet money and stuff too. So, the bridge number go up on PulseChain. I think that's really cool, even if the bank account stuff is not there, or we're not seeing it yet. But anyways, go ahead, Twinkie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Briz, you might be thinking. I thought it was a Hex Scout, which had that ramp now front end. On that one, which I've used for other, let's say, other chains and projects that give you the opportunity to onboard through credit or debit, as I recall. So maybe that's what people were thinking of, as far as something gets in a little more quickly from point A to point B. I think at the end of the day, though, regardless of be it bridges or sorted other on-ramps through the form of a centralized exchange or some sort of convenient intermediary, it can be an and. It doesn't have to be exclusively an or.
Yeah.
I think Pidius did the ramp now thing recently, didn't they? Didn't they integrate it instead of change, or both instead of change now?
Yeah,
or
there might be some geo-locking on that as well. I know certain states, countries, and jurisdictions get a little finicky when it comes to that stuff.
There it is. That's
there.
What VPNs are for, not financial advice.
Well, you're clever, fast and George.
Ostracized.
This is insulting to my face. You can offer me this service, but it's you're going by the rules, I guess. So there's things.
Yeah.
Change now still there. Yeah, compliance. Yeah, KYC. That's a good thing, right? We like KYC, don't we?
No, we don't.
No, tend to agree with that. Yeah, shout out to Bretet, by the way. He made a I'll quickly just take a look at this. Bretet. Our PulseChain dev, who's on the Twitter, has almost 20K followers, by the way. We got to bump those numbers up, Brett. We got to get like 200K during bull run. Let's see. He's probably like, I don't care about social media. I am dev. I dev hard. Where did he write that article? Where can I see where people write articles? Here we go. Like I found it, but like, is there a place I can search for articles or see articles that he has written or anyone else on PulseChain?
Maybe on the media tab.
Yeah.
Media tab. Where's the? I
Like
see.
If
Like
you
on the
go
person.
back,
Yeah, let me go up and then media. Oh, articles. There's a button that I keep ignoring.
Look at
there it is.
It's too simple. It's too simple.
I
Hiding in
was in
plain
the
sight.
right spot though.
Yeah. No, it's Brez knew exactly where to go. There's if y'all haven't read it yet, great article. KYC does more harm than good. Really cool perspective of, hey, if you don't have my personal information, you can't lose it. And the fact that you keep needing it all the time by the government means you keep enabling yourself to lose it because security is hard, all that stuff too. So
Hashtag internet money wallet.
there's no KYC in Internet Money Wallet as far as I know. That's right.
Can't lose your information if they don't have it.
That's right.
Yeah, they
That's
can't
right.
give it to other people either, which is cool, right? Like the government could go, pick up KG, throw him in a little box and torture him, and he can't give them your information.
That was oddly specific, Abdul.
Please do. Well, it was the founder, but yeah, same time. Now we got that imagery. Please don't hurt KG.
Don't torture KG.
Yeah. We'll give you someone else. No, we don't want to give anyone else either. Just I got a couple. Let's see. I want to get an AI for in a minute too, but boy, Abdul's Abdul. How much time we got?
My guest is delayed, so we'll have a couple minutes. Don't worry.
All right,
We'll dip out if I have to go.
Sounds good. This one came up recently. I thought it was interesting to riff on by Hidden Immortal. I think he makes videos, I believe, about PulseChain stuff as well. PulseChain needs a cleansing. Too many whales, sharks, dolphins, squid waiting to exit their bags from cores, memes, outright garbage coins. This phase is brutal but necessary. Only the strongest will survive. Let the purge begin. Does the purge begin? Has it already been happening? Where do you feel like we are in the whales, sharks exiting?
Has he been here for the last 4 years or no?
He's awakened and been like, yeah, that may be happening. Yeah, but is that? I don't know. What do y'all make of that? Like I'm on the shout out to Broke Boy Crypto, by the way. I got it picked up from him. What do y'all make of this? Crypto Ewok.
This is just I think it's just another person complaining about the OGs that got in there before them. I mean, I could say the same thing about like Bitcoin. Oh, there's too many whales and sharks that are trying to, dump their Bitcoin. And so why should I buy Bitcoin? Don't buy Bitcoin. They're going to dump on your head. Oh, imaginary horribles. I don't know.
Well,
it just seems like
is there something to, I mean, well, let's maybe it could be that. It could be the framing of just like there are just the idea. Let's talk about maybe the point of this is like the idea that people are waiting to exit their bags. That's why it's hard to go up. I don't know. Is that something we have to deal with on PulseChain, or is that something that's kind of just like bear market? Like when things start going up, people are going to FOMO. Like
I wrote down this little note, and I kind of had a thought about 4 years of reflection on this chain, I guess.
Let's do it.
And basically, what I've kind of realized, what I think is going on, is that I think Richard is injecting some capital to keep the chain afloat, right? But for the most part, he's just letting people sell. He's like, all right, you want to sell down the price? Well, the price will just stay low. No big deal.
Hello, sell pressure.
Yeah, hello, sell pressure. So I think just so many people have just sold for other coins, NFTs, different projects, and just that's what's kind of keeping the price down, in my opinion. But what I was getting to was that this 4 years is just kind of like the natural markets where people are just selling for other stuff. And so I think when the bull run comes, it's just gonna like all that sell pressure is gonna be gone, and whoever's left is gonna benefit the most, I believe.
We've already shaken out a lot of people, right? Like there would have been early holders of like whatever, but like, you know, a lot of them are gone now, right? So as far as the opportunity for new people, like you have an opportunity to buy something at a low where other people who bought it at a high and then sold at the wrong time. Like I believe there's actually more opportunity now than there was early in the PulseChain days.
Are you planning on selling tomorrow? Right. And like, I think that's a personal question. And hey, if it's life-changing money for you, why not do it? I know Max and I have talked about this in some other times, right? Like if you're here for an opportunity to better your life, why not? But that aside, I'm not planning on selling tomorrow. So I'm not worried about the price right now. I think its time will come. Just got to continue to be patient. I'm not looking at this as a tomorrow. Sure. I would love it to be sooner rather than later, but I don't have that overwhelming, compelling need for it to be right away. I'm totally on board with delayed gratification. I believe in the overall premise of PulseChain and Hex and the Richard Hart tokens. I can take my time with this.
Yeah, I think everything happens when it's supposed to be, like when it's supposed to happen. I think there is this, I mean, I have this like part like investment acumen, and then part of like this just like worldview and mental models and all these things that how I think about the world. And if you're not rich right now, maybe you're not meant to be rich right now. If you're not richer right now, maybe your time hasn't came yet. If the chain hasn't popped off yet and you're still waiting, maybe it's just not time for it to. But what I do believe and what keeps me here and what makes me have faith in this place and allows me to operate in a positive, optimistic way is I think that it will. I have that belief. So you can't, I keep saying this is like, no one can tell you like PulseChain, it's a guaranteed winner. Nobody can say PulseChain, you have nothing to worry about. No, like there's no guarantees of anything. But so there's got to be in every, maybe that's what's different about crypto. Like there's this money making way. There's all these formulas and ways you can look at it. And P&L, like you look at all the different trading aspect of it too. You can look at it, the hodling investment thing. You can look at historical prices, see what goes up. You can time it and trade it. You can just earn yield. You can do all these things. But PulseChain, it's a little bit different in the way I look at it. It's like there is some belief, because if you don't, you may have already been shaken out. So regardless of what happens, I'm not concerned about this chain.
Yeah, I look at it as, what are your beliefs? What are your convictions? And what are your opportunities you're presented with? A little differently, I might not be able to change the hand I was dealt, but I can change how I play the game. And so that is incumbent upon me to make those decisions and choices and try to leverage my knowledge and skills to the best of my ability. That might be hey, just hurry up and wait. I think about, so it's interesting to see that people are, let's say, getting impatient or have been impatient, or some people have capitulated. I'm going to acknowledge another chain here or another solution, XRP. Imagine having the conviction to hold on to that for 7-8 years in the crypto space and watching all these things moving. And like, hey, for a number of those people, their ship finally came in, just took them a minute to get there.
I see a comment by it's up Beyond All, and he's just saying that the reason the cores keep dumping is too many whales in the sack, and we should be happy that these whales are selling at these levels. It's a lot less sell pressure than at all-time highs. So I'm not really angry at anyone that's selling at these levels and just getting rid of their bags. I'm not. It's going to be better for everyone else that stays in when it eventually pumps.
Good point. Very good point. Let's get into some conspiracy, gentlemen. You guys doing conspiracy today?
I've not had my daily dose.
You haven't did it yet?
Please.
Well, I got to say, this one caught me off guard, and I was like, actually, it is interesting how, is he just like one with the crypto, one with the blockchain, or where it just inserted into the text he wanted to say, or is there a hidden message inside of this post in particular? Who wants to take a stab at it? What's your best conspiracy on this one?
I haven't seen this before. So
You're
I
seeing it
don't know.
now. We're doing it live.
Pushing
Number go
or
up.
pulling.
Numbers go up or faster than 3. Like I know somebody's gonna take all these numbers and start making up like, oh my gosh, that was like the day PulseChain launched and the day after he posted this and like the correlation. Max gains least time.
3 by 12. That's 36.
March 12th. What happened to March 12th last year?
That's 3 years. Oh my God. Is he saying it's going to take 3 years from launch? Oh my God. Did I figure it out?
Just 49 more weeks. 49 more weeks.
Another 78 weeks to shake out the
strongest hands.
So you can just circle words. Do they have to be in order, or can you like do lines like back and forth? Because yeah, I could do that with the Bible and make it say absolutely anything I want. Right? There's lots of games you could play here.
Let's see how much your numbers go up on the RH workout. I kind of want to get a T-shirt that says that.
Q heart.
I want to get a cutoff T-shirt that says, "Let's see your numbers on the RH workout," and then, well, preferably I'd like to do that and then onboard people after we go up 10,000x, and then have that shirt. Probably people want to receive that shirt more often.
Yeah, I want to onboard people when we're at a 10,000x. All right, guys.
It's not what I meant, Briz. It's not what I meant. But yeah, that's actually also a funny part of that. Yeah, you memed. You're memeing the conspiracy conversation right now, Briz. I like it. It's actually pretty good. So not much. You guys didn't read much from this. It's just a workout thing, you think?
I mean, I'm with Abdul. If I want to circle fun words and just like draw your attention to things, I can, weave a web of a tale. But all right, like I'll play ball. Let's just spitball and swing for the fences, right? So next 30 days, I'll do the same. Maybe he's really just, hey, let's try to up our fitness or get mobile, get moving. Here's minimum effective dose to maintain some level of physical skills. All right, let's jump past that. In the next 30 days, watch out for, I don't know, it's 210 times 20, 4,200 something or other.
210 EMA or something. You got to start doing TA talk with it too, right?
Yeah, could be like, who knows, right? Like, but like 210 times 20, that's what, 4,200? So is 4,200 a number of significance? What's 175 by 7? 1,200 something, 1,000, like 1,000 something. Anyway, some number, right? 175 by 5. Are those price movements? Are those, does those correlate to a chart? Or are we all just, projecting things we want to see? 5 negatives, eccentric decline, 5 days of negative, 5 weeks of negative. Who knows on that one? Numbers go up as fast as faster when I did 3 by 12 or 5 by 5, 36 or 25. Who knows? Compounding, compound movements, compound gains, compound interest, stabilizing, push pull. I don't know, liquidity manipulation, stabilizing chart at certain intervals. Last time I was
going to say, 7 weeks to failure. That's one I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, 7 sets a week to failure. I mean, it could be quite literal and, or could be, coded messaging on this one. What I think is interesting, the last time I work out for the next year phase. So you never start this, the last time I work for the next year phase. That means like not going away. Rest after stress, impetus, swap in or out, rotating Richard assets. Who knows? See how much your numbers go up on the RH workout. You got me. At what point am I seeing what's there versus seeing what I want to see?
I'm pretty sure he's threatening me here. I challenge you to fall down dead. I challenge fast to fall down dead. I can make that work too. So he is directly threatening.
He's calling you out.
Tweet.
Yeah, not cool, Richie.
Yeah. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I imagine if he generated this, he'd be like, if someone were to generate this with AI, I could imagine taking like you'd write something down that was talked about this actual workout, for example, and then say, enter all these bullish things that have to do with crypto as if you're doing cryptic messages. You could probably generate this yourself again. But what if he did do that? If he did do that on purpose and there was a message, that's actually not, that's a plausible story because it is a very detailed, I know, and he talks a certain way too, but even this one's kind of why go into detail like this? Like, why try to like impress people with your workout maths? It's just for fun. Yeah.
You know, he's written a book with a bunch of tips and helps.
Shout out to Scivive.
Shout out to Scivive.
Survive through science.
He wants to help his followers. You know, don't want everyone sitting around getting fat and weak.
There's value there. Like staying in, you want a community of healthy people, right? Like not weird basement dwellers. That's because that's what everybody else sees. So it's important that, you know, we actually stay healthy and like in our minds as well as our bodies. There is an advantage to the overall community if we do that.
It does help attract like certain groups of people, you know, like healthy looking people.
We might be able to get a 7th girl to join us on PulseChain. You know, it could happen.
7. That's your it's too high. It's too high. I don't know.
We have 6 now. We could get to 7 if we start like
real ones though. Real ones.
Yeah, Richard, real ones. Yeah.
Richard is probably watching this stream right now and going, "What are they doing?"
Guys, can you start talking about the other previous conversation was more interesting? Can you go back to that's what he's saying right now? It's like, why'd you pull up this thing of reading into my tweets for? My tweets are what they are. There's nothing to read into.
Well, if you don't mind, if I can just change it up just a little bit.
Change it.
I just wanted to say that I appreciate your video. Was it yesterday about stop hating PulseChain? Like, I really appreciated that video, and I'm not going to call out any particular names, but you know, if the prices are really low, the best thing we can do is to get more onboards. And if you guys are just crap talking the chain, why would anyone want to come and put their money in here? And so, you know, even if things are looking grim, and I think things will turn around with the cycle, the best thing you could do is just talk positively about the chain and about the leader, you know, the founder, Richard Hart, and just hope that, you know, people join up and the tide lifts all boats.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that was a pretty special stream to me too, and that's something that every time, I don't know what it is, like every time I'll see people post, like I'll post some, you know, something on X or whatever, it'll be something bullish or something whatever, and I'll get comments of people who are probably have bags, or maybe they sold and left and they're just here to just like troll or something, but I'll get comments that are just like, those comments are not, anyone who clicks on my thing who's interested in PulseChain, they see your comment. It's just like voting your own bag. I don't get it. It's like, why would you go and fill other people who have a followings, who have a chance of people seeing their comments and stuff, especially too, full of just negative posts? They're just like, how is this not like, you know, shooting yourself in the foot type of deal? I don't get it. I'm like, if you need to vent, you need to vent, but like, how do you not see another way to do that? It always confuses me. So
I heard a great analogy from some of our PulseChain Marines, you know, the guys who are actually like Marines in the military. You know, they basically said, look, you don't know what the general is, you know, you don't know what their plan is all the time, but you also don't want to start shooting at your own general. All right, guys.
Yep.
So
yeah,
you got to support the team.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy to support the team all the time, but to me, that shows character, right? It shows character. It shows your ability to win. A lot of it's based on how do you face adversity? How do you get through it, no matter what's going on? I mean, I imagine they teach that pretty well in the military as well. Like, how do you like win when the odds are against you, or you're having a bad day or whatever else too? So the answer is not to just like, I don't know. I just always confuse me. It's hard for me to be like, and it sucks because I know, you know, I can look at it and be like, all right, whatever. Like, I can ignore the noise. I can be like, well, cool. Maybe we'll get some more positive comments sometime. But like, there's plenty of people who are trying to like help PulseChain with trying to post this stuff, trying to like create content like this, and it's not helping them be motivated. Like nobody. I remember streaming. I streamed so much during the downtimes too. And yeah, there've been times where like the entire chat is just full of people who just are like super upset right now. And it sucks. And it doesn't motivate me. It doesn't demotivate me, but at the same time, I really like to, it's much better to get the feelings of pump up than just have to constantly manufacture them on your own. So if you want to help the people who are helping the ecosystem, try to be more positive. That's all. Or just don't post anything at all. Just don't post anything. You don't have to post. You don't have to like comment if you don't have anything nice to say. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, attention economy, right? And I know some folks are, I get it. There are aspects of brand building. And I'm sure there are some folks who genuinely believe that, hey, PulseChain Richard Hart stuff, bad idea. They may be wrongfully informed. They may have some very valid critiques on different aspects of that. But there is social media, man, right? Crabs in a bucket. You know, I somewhere, somehow, somewhere, some way, I'm triggered. So let me try to remotely tear this person down on the internet. It says more about me than it does them in a lot of ways. You know, anyone who's taking that kind of action, I'm with you. Like, all right, whatever, moving on. You know, I'll just let it go. Cool. You are inconsequential. We'll see you later.
You know, XRP, I'm not a big fan of it. You know, I don't like the way that the corporate structure above it is manipulating it, right? I don't like it. I do not suggest anyone buy it, but I'm not on the XRP chat forums just trash talking it. You know, I'm not talking bad about it.
Don't you want to save the XRP people? You're being irresponsible right now, but not trash talking. It's just like the mental gymnastics have to do with justify some of these things. Like it could be trolling, but some people, they just don't. Yeah, I don't know. Want to see the world burn, or they just want to be like, or they try to save people, but it's like you're not. It's all these things are opinion. There's no right and wrong on a lot of stuff too. But.
Well, there's opinions, and then there's being like aggressive intentionally, right? So it depends on the scenario. My grandmother once told me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I think that applies in many cases, but like people calling out scams is different. If you really believe somebody's a scammer, if you think Fast Abdul's a scammer, yeah, you should probably tell people. But like if you're just talking and you don't actually have information, it doesn't make sense.
Money printers back on. Hexologist post about the M2 money supply is surging again. History says that's when asset prices go wild. Are we going?
Yes, but
gentlemen?
no.
Is it time?
Yes, but
tell me.
Yes, but no. There's a decent correlation this cycle. I think so. There's an argument to be made for this cycle that M2 so far has been correlated. I take a look at some other things like credit in the system, emerging market bonds, and what I would call global liquidity. So people tend to use, or I've seen plenty of this on Twitter, where people are using M2 synonymously with liquidity. That's not really the case. It's a component of the overall liquidity. So it's hard to argue against, at least in the context of this cycle. Shout out to guys like Raoul Paul and Colin Talks Crypto. They've looked at the M2 money supply. I think current working number is around 87 days is the best correlation for this. I've seen it as high as 110. I think Colin's walked that down a little bit with more recent data down to around 87 days. If I look at the overall conditions for the market, I see no reason to think that this cycle is over. Not by any indicator I'm watching. Now, I think there will be some bumpy elements between here and the end of the cycle, whenever that may ultimately roll in. But yeah, I don't think this is over by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I think we've got a decent ways up yet to come.
Yeah. Turn on the money.
It's like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Well, was it Bessent, Treasury Secretary Bessent? Was it yesterday? Like very, very recently. We will absolutely, paraphrasing, we will absolutely not default on $36 trillion worth of debt. Okay, and how exactly do you plan to achieve that?
Printed money.
Warm it up.
Yeah. Turn it on. Print as much as you want.
Gotta print it up. Gotta print it up.
Cheap loans for everyone.
Maybe.
leverage.
Inflation sucked, but everyone wants crypto prices go up, so maybe the better money wins. I don't know. There's always these like bad side effects of it too, but I don't know. Maybe we can
Like
get a million millionaires.
$25 cheeseburgers.
Well, if I ate at McDonald's, that would suck. But yeah, I'm more of a Chick-fil-A guy, you know.
Oh boy, that's like a $70 meal right there.
Yeah, I'm more of a Five Guys. I need about $75 Five Guys pretty much.
75.
Yeah. Shout out to Five Guys. Your burgers are great, but geez, and very generous on the fries. So do a good job. Boy, I got it. Breaking the bank. Number go up probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I see no reason it won't continue to go up between here and what I think will ultimately be the end of the cycle. For anyone who's particularly interested, I think we've got maybe some sort of local peak scenario. I'll say mid-August right now. And then if classical 4-year cycles continue to hold true, we're probably looking at October, November timeframe. I think there's also a growing body of evidence that indicates we're probably going to run into 2026. Not financial or life advice. Don't, pin all your hopes and dreams on me. I'm just telling you what I see at the moment, and all that stuff can change on a dime.
So 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks followed by 2 more weeks. Don't forget to add the 2 weeks to those 2 weeks.
2 more weeks, asterisk. Hopefully.
It kind of feels like it's not possible that it's going to pump wildly to the end of this year, and then in 2026 we start the 4-year downturn. It just doesn't feel like that's in the cards this time. So I'm just thinking, I will be taking some profits, but I don't know how much I actually truly want to sell. I just feel like a lot of people are going to take too many profits, and then in 2026 or something, it's just going to go straight up, and people are going to be left behind. So all I'm thinking about is like, I want to take some profits, but I'm definitely not liquidating everything.
Everyone's going to be wrong about when the top and when the bottom is going to be, right? So DCA in, DCA out is a much better strategy for most people than try to catch the top, try to catch the bottom. Like, you're going to be wrong. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. And my thought here is there's a good chance I will never be able to rebuild some of these bags at current, at future price points. So I'm trying to be very intelligent, as Abdul has indicated, DCA in, DCA out, take some lifestyle chips off the table. I also personally, just looking at the way things are going, I want to keep certain funds and capital on chain. I don't want to completely take it back to fiat or take it back out to real world assets. I value the ability to move very much.
What's this Manus thing?
Speaking of not being left behind, I'm glad you asked, Briss. I've almost convinced Twinkie to use it. I think I might have in the green room. I'm not quite sure, but
I signed up.
You signed up?
Yeah.
Now they have all your
new toys.
KYC and you're good to go, Briss. Don't worry. No, it definitely not KYC. It is as I concisely put it in the chat. It's like Chat GPT on steroids. That's like the super high level view, but agents. 2025 is the year of agents. Hopefully Matt gets PulseChain, but agents in the AI atmosphere. And this is one of the most amazing tools I've ever used. Highly suggest anyone try it. It's great for research. It's great for thumbnail. I've been using it for like thumbnails and like different stuff too. And it's got a high effort mode. You got to sign up to use it. And I don't have it logged in or anything, but it's basically a very deep research tool that it's totally been worth the money. It's totally been worth like whatever, plan and stuff like that is. So agents, I don't know. I know no one's going to understand unless we're talking about agents, but it makes picture. It does. I mean, what can't it do? Like literally, if you ask me a question like, what can it do? I don't know what it can't do. It doesn't.
Is it better than ChatGPT?
Yes. It can, you can watch what it's doing on the computer too. Like if you go watch a bit, let me just go to like YouTube real quick. And I'll like show you just what it looks like. Manus.
Will it do the thing? Will it do the things Chat GPT won't do?
Yeah,
It
can you
can.
plan world domination events and stuff like that?
Will it blackmail you?
That's TBD. But man, it's a computer view. So you can watch it. It can write code for you. You can watch it while it's working. Oh, come on.
Cool.
Like it'll spin up a computer for each time it does stuff. Let me see if I can just fast forward in this one. So this example, you can watch it. It'll give you can upload files. Like I said, it can write code, it can run code, it can post, it can make websites. That's when I was doing like the PulseChain support. I don't know if you all saw my tweet, but I was playing with like a PulseChain support chatbot type thing. I made it with Manus and deployed it, and it was live. You could do temporary websites, everything else. You can, what else? I didn't show the computer use, or I guess it did. No, where is it? Where you can watch it. It'll go click on websites and you can see it do it. Yeah. So you can see Manus's computer at the top. You're watching it go click on websites, go back and forth. You're watching it do all the stuff as if a person would be doing it. It's like next level. Wow, agents are actually here. This is like the only implementation. Well, there's a few different ones they're doing now, but this is the best one I've seen so far. So if you want to get into AI, you use ChatGPT, you're like, I don't know how this stuff works, or I want to do some deep research, whatever. Check out manus.im, not .ai, manus.im. And literally, like, I've never seen anything like it. It can do everything. Like, what can it do? I don't know.
Can it help write smart contracts?
Yes. So that's the other thing I was going to say too, is if you give it a website that needs like login credentials, you're like, go to my YouTube and give me recommendations on videos I should make based on my statistics or my audience or whatever.
Cool.
If you can give it your credentials or whatever too, you can give it, I'm pretty sure you can give it credentials. You can give it, again, you got to trust it, blah, 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 all this stuff. But like you can take control of the computer itself and like type stuff in and do stuff, I think too. It's like,
what could go wrong?
Yeah, it's also that. So be careful on giving it that type of stuff, but it can do it. So it's amazing. Twinkie,
Very cool.
you're gonna go play with it now? Have I convinced you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing with assorted AI tools, but it sounds like
Not this one.
probably
Not this one. This is the best. I'm calling it right now. It's the best AI tool out there. I'm saying
for now, right? Like
now, until
the next one. Yeah, until the next one, right? But we're getting to a point where
this is a Chinese company, by the way. Yes, it is. So be careful with that,
the execution layer of doing a number of activities in the digital world or on a computer or on a device have largely been figured out. So now it's like we've been saying, like asking the right question, giving it a good prompt, getting it to pointing it in the direction that you want it to go, give it the what, maybe even some other questions, and then turn it loose so it can act as your emissary. So yeah, I'll go check it out. Certainly I know we've mentioned a few other AI tools on here and some other streams and but I'll definitely check it out. See if there's can I leverage some things to get more of my personal time back?
Oh, you will. You will.
Man, I want an AI I can just put onto my computer and be like, all right, I need you to go through all my pictures, everything. I need to find the memes of Richard's face where he looks angry. Or some just really random things. I know I have memes on my computer somewhere, but I have no idea what I've named them. But if I saw the picture, I know that's what I want, but I don't know how to search for it.
I was going to say on that, you could if you knew where all the pictures were, you didn't mind to give them all of them. You could just zip them up, upload it, and be like, find all the pictures with this guy's face on it, with Richard Hart's face, or give it a Richard Hart picture, and they could find them. And it'd be like, make a budget, make me 100 memes from this, and it can do stuff like that.
Oh, that's a good
all right,
one.
I'm going to do this while I sleep, and then you go to sleep, you wake up, and you run out of credits. Maybe watch out for that, but also it can do it. So there's that.
That's actually a good idea. I never thought about that. Maybe just take like news articles and like make a meme. Give me a good meme out of this thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you use it for that, let me know, because I'm always curious how people are using it and doing all this stuff. Because I know all this stuff. I'm using it for research. I'm using it for like all these different things, and especially to talk about stuff on PulseChain. But it's the best I've seen so far. It's literally impressive. So.
Cool.
All right, gents. Yeah. That's all we got for you today. Briz, Fast, Twinkie, nailed it as usual. I had no expectations, so you super exceeded them as usual. And what do you guys want to take us out on? We'll start with Briz, go down to Fast, and through Twinkie.
Guys, let's start being nicer to PulseChain.
Be nice to PulseChain.
It's gonna do moves that you never thought it could do. Just give it time or not. Go buy something else. I don't care.
That is too reasonable. That is too reasonable of you. I like it. Fast Abdul. Would you like to be nice to PulseChain?
Yeah. PulseChain has the best influencers, the best builders, right? And in theory, a founder with 166,000 plus ETH, it's not boring, right? No matter how you look at the current numbers and what's going on, the activity, the infighting, the cults, like it is interesting. And this is an attention economy. Crypto is at least partly an entertainment industry. So I think PulseChain is going to be a win. My personal opinion, not financial advice.
Love it. Twinkie, what do you got? Oh, also fast. You got a stream coming up. We're gonna.
Yeah, you bet. I'm going to be on with Triplet Dad on the Magic Carpet Ride stream. I will drop it in the chat. It will be on right after this, as they're waiting for me. With Saint Wolf from Saint Wolf Vision. Should be a good one.
Shout out to Saint Wolf.
Nice. Shout out.
Exciting. Go tune in. You've come this far. Why quit now? Why get bent out of shape now? You're so close. That'd be just, self-sabotage at this point. So yeah, be nicer. I think constructive criticism is always welcome in the community, but there are definitely some haters. And if you've come this far, why not see it out to the finish line?
I like it. Sounds very, all three of you seem to have a good head on your shoulders. And that's what we need more of on PulseChain.
Thank you.
Be nice, be intelligent, be kind to each other. And let's go win. Let's keep winning. Some people say we haven't started winning. Some people say we're already winning. No matter where you fall in the win spectrum, let's win.
Agreed.
That's all I got for you today. We're gonna go out some RH dancing real quick. We're gonna go 1, 2, and 3.
Let's see if they fuck a can with them all one time.